Welcome to a new episode from Perfect English with Danny. This week, things have changed. I have changed the title of the podcast from Perfect English Podcast to Perfect English with Danny because I wanted this podcast to become a little bit more personal. We will still have all the English learning episodes you are used to, and we will add a lot more to that. Because learning English is not just about grammar and vocabulary, I'm adding a whole bunch of new stuff to this podcast. I'm adding things about history, myths and legends, short stories, novel. We will have episodes about our brain. We'll get to know our brain better. We will have speaking and writing episodes, arts and literature, spotlights. I have added a lot of topics to the podcast because learning English, again, is not just about grammar and vocabulary. Learning English is a lot more than that. We have to learn about a lot of different things in English. You will listen to a lot of different topics. Your English will be a lot better, and you will learn about a lot of interesting things along the way. So I hope you like the change, and this change will also entail some literature. Because literature is an indispensable part of any language, and obviously it is in English. While my plan is for you to enjoy English a little bit more with some literature, trust me, in time you will get to the heart of the language. And finally, before I start with this episode, we will have a daily poem and the word of the day as daily episodes added to Perfect English with Danny. So this is our first daily poem. And this is one of my poems from the Scream Poetry collection. The poem is called I Belong. I belong. I belong to no country you may war against, and tomorrow's place I find for my head under your military boots and the roaring thunder of your steel shaking my ground. I belong to no race where a color mismatch can take your reason away, and all your eyes can see is but a shade of who I am. And you pull a trigger and kill all that can be killed in me, except for a soul whose color I share with you all. I don't expect you to see. You are already color blind. I belong to no religion in whose choice of God has conflicted with yours. And by killing me, you are killing every possible chance we might one day find out all along we have been living under the same sun, worshipping the same God. You cannot understand. You are the Almighty passing judgments and sentencing people to death without a warrant, like the many leaves in fall. You and I, or anyone, might be the yellow ones. I belong to no man, no country, no race, no religion. I belong to you, and you do belong to me. I am simply a man, and if that you cannot understand, go ahead and kill me, brother, and pretend whatever you may want to pretend, for I will haunt you, and you will find me. Every night in your nightmarish dreams, you know when you killed me, you had just killed yourself. I hope you like the poem, and that's just the beginning of a great schedule for our podcast. So stay tuned for the great new content I'm planning to add to this podcast. This is your host, Danny, saying thank you very much for listening to another episode from Perfect English with Danny. I will see you soon in another episode.